Hey everyone, friends. Forget about the cliché Berettas, worn-out Colts, and standard M16s that Hollywood has been feeding us for decades. In John Wick, the directors showed off not just iconic, but rare and damn expensive firearms you won't see in other movies. Today, we're going to break down in detail the most unique guns from this film. Get comfortable, and let's start the breakdown. Following tradition, let's start with the pistols. The main star of the film, the Heckler Koch P30L pistol with an extended slide and barrel. A 9x19mm parabellum caliber pistol, additionally equipped with a custom muzzle compensator, which is often mistaken for a suppressor or a barrel weight. The choice of the P30L is a sign of professionalism. The long slide provides an increased sight radius, and the compensator not only dampens muzzle rise, but also adds weight to the muzzle, turning recoil into a barely noticeable nudge. This is the perfect machine for applying the Mozambique drill shooting technique. I'll explain what that technique is in the comments. Pay attention to the club scene. Because of the installed compensator, the main character physically could not have quickly drawn the pistol from a closed holster. The creators had to use an open competition holster, which in real life compromises concealment when walking, as the pistol prints heavily under the jacket. Furthermore, in some shots, the compensator wobbles slightly, which in a real shooting scenario would lead to the slide jamming or the destruction of the muzzle. As a backup weapon, John uses a compact Glock 26, hiding it in an inside-the-waistband holster. The Glock 26 is a classic for concealed carry. The standard magazine holds only 10 rounds, but the designers maintained full compatibility with the higher capacity magazines of its bigger brothers, the Glock 17 and 19. Interesting fact, in the final fight, John manages surprisingly tight groupings with the Glock 26 while holding the pistol with an injured hand. In reality, due to the short grip, which physically accommodates only 2 fingers, controlling this pistol is very difficult. Pistol classics are also present in the film. The security team of the main villain, Tarasov, is armed with the legendary Browning High Power. Designed by the legendary firearms designer John Browning in 1926, this pistol defined the look of the 20th century military sidearm. A double-stack magazine holding 13 rounds seemed like science fiction in 1935. It has excellent ergonomics, but for modern tactical realities, it's a bit heavy. The all-steel frame makes itself felt. By the way, it's funny that the mob runs around with Brownings. Because, in fact, this pistol is just a refined and corrected copy of the Soviet TT, only with a double-stack magazine. Or do fans of the Colt 1911 think otherwise? I'm waiting for your opinion in the comments. Another heroine of the film, Miss Perkins, is armed with the German Walther P99 pistol. It's noteworthy that she has an early version of the P99 with the distinctive, humped trigger guard, a weapon with unique ergonomics and an extremely specific anti-stress striker-fired mechanism. The Walther P99 is called a spy's pistol. It's flat, streamlined, without protruding parts, allowing it to be hidden in the most unexpected places. A funny fact, in the movie, Perkins uses the Walther with a suppressor. However, the original out-of-the-box Walther P99 does not have an extended, threaded barrel. To install a sound suppressor, she would have had to source an extended barrel from third-party manufacturers. Moreover, the gunshot sound is way too quiet. Without subsonic ammunition, the bang of a standard round would be quite loud. Continuing on, the Salient Arms International Glock 17, a high-tech gun from the SAI workshop. The pistol features a lightened slide with through cuts, a gold-colored titanium nitride-coated barrel, and deep laser stippling on the grip. The cuts on the SAI Glock 17 slide aren't just for looks. They reduce the mass of the moving parts. Less slide mass means a faster cycle rate, a weaker recoil impulse, and a faster return of the sights onto the target. Personally, I noticed one inconsistency in the film. The pistol costs a lot of money, and issuing such a weapon to run-of-the-mill henchmen is the height of wastefulness. In the church shootout scene, this pistol changes ownership at the director's whim. In one shot, a fighter holds an SAI Glock, and in the next, when he falls, it's suddenly a regular stock Glock 17 with a black barrel. The most common pistol in the film is the stock Glock 17. The Austrian polymer bestseller, 3rd generation. Absolutely reliable, predictable, no external safeties, draw, and fire. The 17-round capacity makes it the ideal standard for shootouts. Interesting fact, in the film, you constantly hear the characteristic metallic sound of a hammer being cocked when someone aims a Glock at a target. The problem is that the Glock doesn't have an external hammer. This pistol, in principle, cannot make such sounds when aiming. Some gangsters use an interesting setup, a Glock 17 in a FAB Defense Pose G1 chassis, which is a Glock 17 pistol inserted into a special aluminum frame with a folding stock, forward grip, and Picatinny rails. This configuration provides a third point of contact, allowing for accurate fire at distances of up to 50 to 70 meters. The funny thing is, in the film, the fighters lay down furious automatic fire. However, for the whole setup to fire like that, it would need to have the extremely rare Glock 18 inside, or the pistol would have to be modified with a special makeshift auto-sear, a so-called Glock switch. Considering that close-ups show standard Glock 17 slides, what we're seeing is pure editing magic and added sound effects. The film also features a more compact version of the standard Glock, specifically the Model 19 with a 15-round magazine, the gold standard for a do-it-all pistol. It's small enough for concealed carry and large enough for a full-on gunfight. Many professionals prefer it over the 17 model due to its perfect balance. In the scene where John is shooting back at the assault team, the trajectories of the ejected casings are not quite right. To make the casings fly beautifully towards the camera, the pyrotechnicians used underpowered blank rounds, causing the slide to cycle slower and the casings to literally fall out of the ejection port upwards and to the right, whereas during live fire they fly out with tremendous speed strictly to the side. I lied to you a little bit. There is a classic in the film, the Beretta 92 FS, the classic Italian pistol with an open slide, the weapon of the die-hard era, large, heavy, with soft recoil due to its weight and excellent reliability in feeding ammunition. But by modern tactical standards, it's too bulky, with a thick grip that's uncomfortable for people with small hands. Moving on, Colt Python, a luxurious 6-shot revolver with a 6-inch chromed barrel in .357 Magnum caliber. This is the Rolls-Royce of the revolver world. Impeccable quality of parts fitting, a silky smooth trigger, and colossal stopping power of the cartridge. Notable design features include the vent rib on the barrel helps evenly distribute recoil, enhancing shooting accuracy. The automatic firing pin safety blocks the firing pin if the trigger is not pulled completely. When the trigger is pressed, the chamber tightly seals against the barrel's forcing cone, minimizing propellant gas leakage. When the mob realizes that pistols aren't working against John, submachine guns come into play. Here, the creators also showed originality, shunning the overused Israeli Uzis. First on our list is the Kahari Arms MP10. This is an American civilian copy of the famous German HK MP5, distinguished by a modified shape of the plastic handguard and receiver. The film's creators clearly wanted to show original MP5s, but obtaining fully automatic MP5s in the US for filming is a legal nightmare due to strict legislation. So, filmmakers take semi-automatic clones and pass them off as original German quality. Interesting fact, during the assault, one of the henchmen fires an MP10, and colossal bursts of flame erupt from the barrel. This is a sure sign of using blank cartridges. A real MP5 with quality ammunition produces a minimal flash, as the barrel length allows the powder to burn completely. The film also shows an ultra-compact version of the Heckler Koch submachine gun, the MP5K, with a shortened barrel and a handguard equipped with a vertical foregrip. The letter K stands for Kurs, short. It was created for bodyguards and concealed carry under a jacket. The submachine gun has a furious rate of fire of 900 rounds per minute. And there's another MP5 variant in the film, namely the MP5K PDW. The shorty, equipped with a side-folding plastic stock and a bolt with a modified impulse. The presence of a stock fundamentally changes the game, turning it into a full-fledged carbine chambered for a pistol cartridge. Pay attention to the magazines. Most fighters use standard straight or slightly curved 30-round magazines. In the church assault scene, the shootout lasts so long that the mercenaries should be reloading every 2 seconds of continuous fire. But the editing is merciless, The fighters fire 50 to 60 rounds from one mag without any hint of a slide locking back. When John needs to stop a target in heavy-class body armor, he pulls out a shotgun. In the first film, there's only one, but what a one it is. Kel-Tec KSG, a futuristic bullpup 12-gauge shotgun with 2 tubular magazines under the barrel. The total capacity is an insane 14 rounds. The Kel-Tec KSG is a genius of compact design. Thanks to the bullpup layout, the creators managed to retain a long barrel with minimal overall weapon dimensions. It's an ideal door breacher for room clearing. The main feature is that the shooter must manually switch the feed lever from one tube to the other when one runs out of shells. Let's move on to the heavy artillery. The rifles in the film are divided into 2 types: assault carbines for close-quarters battle and high-precision bolt-action rifles. John's primary assault rifle in the first film is the Arms CA-415. This is an American clone of the German Heckler Koch 416 Hong Kong dollars. It's equipped with an EOTech holographic sight, a tactical flashlight, and a suppressor. The 416 Hong Kong dollars and its American clone differ from the classic M4 by their modified gas system. Instead of the Stoner direct impingement system, it uses a short-stroke gas piston, like in the German G36 or the Soviet AK. This makes the rifle incredibly reliable. It's not afraid of carbon fouling and can fire even after submersion in water or mud. John's friend Marcus uses a Ruger M-77 rifle, a classic hunting bolt-action rifle with a turn-bolt action, caliber .30-06 Springfield or .308 Winchester. It's equipped with a bipod and a suppressor. The Ruger M-77 is based on a modernized Mauser 98 bolt group. It's an incredibly accurate, but strictly civilian or hunting weapon. For a professional hitman, it's a strange choice. Military types prefer the Remington 700 or the Dragunov SVD. Another sniper rifle of Marcus's, which he assembles from a suitcase, is the Desert Tech Stealth Recon Scout, a high-precision bolt-action rifle in a bullpup layout, a masterpiece of sniper design. The bullpup design allows for a rifle with a match-grade barrel with an overall length of only about 80 centimeters. It fits into a small case and allows you to change calibers in a couple of minutes by swapping the bolt and barrel guard. Next on our list, the Savage 10BA. This massive tactical rifle in a futuristic aluminum chassis is used by one of the mob snipers. A heavy varmint rifle in .308 Winchester caliber. The chassis from Savage ensures a rigid fixation of the receiver, and the adjustable stock allows you to customize the weapon to any shooter's anatomy. An obvious movie blunder. The sniper reveals his position with a colossal glint from the scope's lens. Modern mercenaries of that level have long used honeycomb-style kill flashes, which completely eliminate light reflection from the optic. Also, some gangsters are glimpsed with a DPMS Recon semi-automatic rifle on the AR-15 platform from DPMS Panther Arms, chambered in 5.56 by 45 mm NATO. A solid civilian AR with a shortened barrel and a free-floated handguard. It delivers good accuracy and allows for rapid, aimed single shots. Interesting fact. In the finale, the fighters armed with the DPMS Recon manage to miss John from a distance of 20 paces, even though the rifle is equipped with red dot sights that allow for instinctive, aimed fire. So that's how today's breakdown turned out. I hope it was interesting. As always, I'm waiting for your comments. Which of the shown guns did you like the most? Write your opinion in the comments. See you next time on the channel.